Yesterday we failed miserably, but we're going to try again. For there's no point in not, once again, trying. We had some pretty good runs yesterday. Unfortunately, I kept getting kicked off the Wi-Fi, so I couldn't keep any of these streams up. So now we're going to go ahead and start the new stream real quick. Going to go ahead and get analytics open. And now the stream is up and we are live. Hello chat, how are you doing? Are you doing well? I hope you're doing well. It is Friday, a wonderful, joyous Friday, and I am streaming once again. But today, we are going to be doing the weekly Everdark Smackdown. That's right. This is the second of the weekly Everdark Smackdown, so let's take a look at what the Everdarks are this week. We have Sentient Pests, not necessarily a difficult fight, but a very annoying one. So I'll show you how to... I'll give you a good route, because I didn't do that last time. In my last runs, I was taking garbage routes, and I kept having to say, like, don't do this, it's not a good idea, don't do this. I'm only doing this because I'm pretty sure it's going to work out, and I really don't care. But, like, I realize that that's not very helpful to people, so I'm not going to do that anymore. What I'm going to do instead, I'm going to show you good routes for all these bosses. So now, we're going to just kick things right. We're not with a two-player expedition, we're going to kick things right off, and we are going to begin fighting Sentient Pest. Everdark Sentient Pest. So without further ado's and ifs or buts, let us go in to the run. Ooh, so we have City out here. Now, typically I would bum rush City, stop by a ranged tower here to take out the two Estelles on either side, but we're not going to do that. That's just hyper efficiency. And it's not the easiest thing in the world to pull off, and if you mess it up, it could mean the run's over if you're not good enough at recovering runs. So we're not going to do that. We're going to play it safe. Play it safe. Play it conservative, really. Okay. Alright, now let's loot this starting camp. Holy attack power up, skill attack power. Always take skill attack power if you have a Harmonious setup. Attacks unleash lightning. Alright, let's take a look at what we got here. Starting up the toys. So, as you can see, for Sentient Pest, we need a fire weapon. There are 2 fire locations on the map. We're just going to hit those. Start heading south to those real quick. But first, we're actually going to take a pit stop over here at the side of Grace. Take this spirit stream to jump up to the top of that fort and kill another boss real quick, just to boost our levels. By the way, this is something you should always do if you get... If you find a spirit stream next to a fort like this, you should always, 100% of the time, use it to jump straight to the top. Ah, that was bad. Admittedly, I'm not proud of that. We'll take improved jump attacks since we don't have anything better at the moment. So now we're going to head south to this church, and then we're going to veer right to the Redmane Night Camp. Now, for those of you who don't know, the telltale sign, if you see a fire location on your map, see a fire encampment on your map, the telltale sign that separates a Redmane Night Camp from a Flame Chariot camp is that tower right there. You see it? That big tower. Redmane Night Camps have that tower, Flame Chariot camps do not. Flame Chariot camps are much easier to clear than a Red Main Knight camp, but you know what? We have to do what we have to do. And if we don't get a proper weapon from this location, we can always hop over to the Fire Cathedral. It's just behind it, and hit that up for a better chance of actually getting the weapon we need. At one point, I remember being told about a video, and then I watched it. Points of interest, depending on what the point of interest is, you have a different likelihood of getting the weapon you need, actually. Oh, come on, man. Put the bow away. No, put the bow away. I'm done. You're done. That was good. Oh, really, that was great. You did so well. But essentially, like, the point of interest you go to, the affinity is, like, important and all, of course, but you are more likely to get a weapon that matches your dormant power from a cathedral than you are any other point of interest. Like, for instance, Wilder is more likely to get a greatsword from a cathedral than any other location. I hate Spear Knights, they're just so annoying to fight. So typically I just flip them. Like, see, look at this. See, I did not get any sort of fire greatsword out of that loophole. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna head, whatever direction this is, west, chat. We're gonna go to this church first. Since it's gonna be pushed in. Since it's gonna be pushed into the bounds of night, I'd like to hit that before the Fire Cathedral. I would like to get that last church on day 1 as well, just because it's not going to be convenient to get day 2. If I want to clear all of City, you know what the heck. We will just do the Fire Cathedral. We're going to run over here behind this altar and grab a Stone Sword key, though. But I do have the intention of doing an Everdale, actually. And yeah, I'm just ignoring the enemies. I really only care about the boss. That's the only reason I'm coming here. My runes will come from other places. So you can kind of just walk up behind him and backstab him, and then if you have Wilder's starting sword, you can literally just flip him. And then you... well, that's it. You win. Now see, I did get a great sword. Sadly, it wasn't a fire great sword. So I do need to kind of... well, there's one more Fire Cathedral. We'll hit that on day 2. So that'll make that church more convenient to get, because I already have something I'm doing in that direction. So now we're going to go get this church up here before it gets engulfed by the night. Alright. So now that I have an Everjail key, what we're going to do is we're going to run up to this Everjail here, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go to this one. No, here's what we'll do. We'll go to this spirit stream, jump up, go into this tunnel, and then we'll come out and do that Everjail. That Everjail. Ooh, and this Claymore has Wild Strikes. And in case you don't know, Wild Strikes is one of the best, and I mean the best, Ashes of War for their Harmonia Relic. If you get anything with Wild Strikes on it, with the Harmonia Relic, grab it. Really? Fine. Dude, why did it jump so late? Whatever. Here, let's do a critical hit on landing Misbegotten since he's right here. And then we'll just chop him to bits. See what I mean, Chad, though? Wild Strikes does a ton of damage. It's like physical damage negation. It's always helpful, and it will protect against Bardus' attacks, which are generally the ones that most people end up getting hit by. And here's the thing about Noster's attacks. They aren't really that deadly. Animus, of course, doesn't really attack. So, I mean, it has one move, but it really mainly just serves to empower the other two. Okay, let's go take care of Pumpkinhead. That's how you do it. Holding L2. Because the Harmonia Relic is absolutely broken and nobody can convince me otherwise. So here we're going to open this Everjail. See what we get out of it. Dude, what the heck? Why did they all just decide to attack me at the exact same time? Like, the throwers threw stuff, the dudes cast their spells, and the three big ones all just rushed me at the very beginning. So that's great. I don't like Beastmen of Farum Azula because of stuff like that. Like, they just made them way too weird. Like, because, yeah, sure, they do obey the aggression laws until they don't. Really, dude? You didn't just do a critical? You were behind him. Don't even act like you weren't. Now, demihumans, little demihumans, on the other hand, do not follow the laws of aggression. Thanks for missing completely, because I can't... Seriously, what the heck was that? No. I'm not going to dodge. I should have to dodge. See, I need to go get my stuff back. But they wouldn't let me because they were bunched up around it. Stop that. No. You're not getting away. Why do they get, like, knockback resistance immediately after being grappled? Like, how stupid is that? Who just said, yeah, you know, they're not hard enough to deal with. Let's just make it so they don't take knockback, so they can actually get away from you. Well, as for right now, I'm going to upgrade my gray weapon, then we'll just go through another tunnel to get another smithing stone, too. Or, you know what, there's a village over there. We'll just buy another smithing stone, too. So we got a lot of stuff to do on the top left corner of the map. This run. We have... Basically, we just need to hit the Fire Cathedral for a Fire Greatsword, hopefully. Hit the last church, go to the village, get another smithing stone too. Or, you know what, how about we just go through the tunnel, honestly. It'll be faster after getting that last church than going to the village. Because the village is actually a bit of a detour. Yep, you're all dead. You're proud of running away. Oh, that's really amazing. I like the idea of a rot spear, but am I really going to use it? Probably not. Especially now against pests. I know pests can be poisoned and rotted, but like as you could imagine, it's pretty resistant to both. Whatever. I don't have anything. I'm not gonna use sorceries. So now we're just gonna wait out the night. And it's Centipede Demon. Big hand, always take it out first. Just because it's annoying. Well, just because it's annoying and kind of deadly. We both missed. That was funny. Just a bit early. Always look up when he jumps. Don't do what I tried to do. Certainly don't just sit there when he throws that bomb like that. And the only reason that worked as well as it did, chat, was because, well, my skill attack power is absurd. It's like HP on successive attacks. Seems pretty good. So now we gotta head over to the Fire Cathedral. And because we don't have Deep of Night passives debuffing our Night's Tide damage, we're just gonna run there now. And because the night's gonna clear in any second now, so. This will give us a chance to see what this great enemy is over here. Yikes. I don't know, it's actually not horrible. Fine, I'll do it. I wasn't gonna, but I remembered I have Wild Strikes on a physical sword. That's way too good of an opportunity to pass up. Way too good for Gargoyle to not do him. In case you couldn't tell, he's 80% resistant to holy damage. Yeah, see, Wild Strike's absolutely a trivializer. It's insanely good. Cool. That fight lasted a whole of about 30 seconds. And that's really nice. I like that. So have any of you guys experienced the issue where attacks unleash blank just hasn't worked for some reason? I mean, I've experienced that with like every weapon that says attacks unleash wraiths, attacks unleash vengeful spirits, attacks unleash yada yada yada. They just never happen. Like, that effect never happens unless the person I'm playing with attacks something. Then it happens. Here's what we're going to do, chat. We're going to hop up here to this Fire Cathedral. We're just going to kind of hope it has the weapon we need. We're going to use the Spirit Stream, because at least in my experience, it seems a little bit faster than trying to climb those weird little stone steps. Could be wrong on that front, but we'll see. Nothing good. Oh, chat, watch this. Hold up. Yeah. See, Harmonia Relic turns any skill press into a powerhouse. That's... Yeah, see, I don't know. I didn't get anything good out of that, so... Guess we're just kind of banking on actually finding a fire weapon. This is the kind of luck, this is the kind of rotten luck that I don't really mind in normal mode. But, like, in my recent Deep of Night runs, they did this to me non-stop. Like, this was all that happened. It was stuff like, I go to designated elemental locations, or at least in, well, not, okay, the runs before the runs I did recently. But the runs I've been doing lately have been incredible. Like, top-tier runs. Even outside of Deep of Night, like, these runs have been incredible. Let's do this. Chop the bits when it gets back up. Ow. Cool. I didn't have stamina to dodge that. But don't throw your sword, please. You absolutely throw your sword. But that's probably the fastest bell-bearing hunter kill I've ever had. I do like that. It's pretty good. I'm really not feeling that improved item discovery, though. Not gonna lie. Not feeling it. Because, I mean, all my equipment is still relatively mediocre for the boss that I'm fighting. Which, I mean, fire damage isn't required for Sentient Pest, but it does definitely help your damage output. Especially against Noster, because if you hit Noster with a fire weapon, it gets lit on fire. And you get constant damage against it. Which is really helpful, because then you can just, like, light Noster on fire once, then start attacking Fartus. So Noster is just taking constant damage. It's really nice to have a fire weapon for Noster specifically. Not for Fartus, but... Although, one of the best runs I ever had against them was at Depth 4, and I had 2 Frost magic weapons. And am I shocked I won that? Yeah, because, I mean, that's not... Like, don't get me wrong, they were both red greatswords. I had a Helfin Steeple and a Death's Poker. I'm buying this Wind and Grace. I don't trust y'all. I also don't have any ranged weapons to take care of the Estelle, so I have to just pass them up. Hey, welcome to stream. How are we doing today? I'll just pass up that night. He doesn't drop a loot pool anyway. And lost him immediately. I don't understand why people will literally just tune in for like 5 seconds and then leave. Like, that was not me. I tuned in way long ago. There's no way it just now showed up. Watch this engaging gameplay against Black Knight Assassin, and I held L2 the whole time. That was hilarious. That's funny. That's good. But now we're going to make our way up to the Estelle, and we're going to take care of that. It'll drop a legendary. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm getting something like Blasphemous Blade or Devourer's Scepter or something fiery. Something spicy. Giant's Red Braid I'll take. That's good. Starscourge Greatswords are good against everything. That's the thing about a lot of the legendary weapons is they remove the need for you to actually strategize. They're so good. Just kind of peacefully walk up to you and take you out. There you go, buddy. Like improved voice, since the other thing you gave was garbage. So now we're gonna hop up here. We're gonna kill this dude. He can bleed, but he won't bleed fast enough, I really don't think. Got one swing in before I actually got the critical, that's nice. Good night. That's Estelle taken care of. Hey, asking ye shall receive. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Would you look at that? Bye-bye item discovery. Hello, Blasphemous Blade. And the power of the city is really nice, too. It's the only reason me and my co-op buddy actually beat Everdark Balancers the first time. Like, power of the city is like, it's literally just a winding grace. An extra winding grace. Oh wait, I have an idea, chat. I'm going to dupe this Blasphemous Blade. That's right. I'm going to dupe this Blasphemous Blade. I'm going to be wielding 2 of them. And that will make me power. That just did a casual third of its health. What a fair weapon this is. Like max HP up further. You know, I don't have enough HP. I guess if I'm going to be like, I don't really need this, do I? I need you to die. Goodbye. Really, dude? You're gonna poke me through the platform. Don't get me wrong, I like the Milo sword, and yes, I could use it to debuff the boss, monster. But I really don't care. I'm going to use this because it's funny. Ah, forget it, I'm not killing Headless Troll. I'm going to go kill Dragonkin Soldier. Dragonkin Soldier is more likely to give me something good. Like some jump attack passives, fire attack passives, something like that. Like, I'm more likely to get something good from Dragonkin Soldier than Headless Troll. And I feel like that's not just me being unfair. I feel like that's just true. I love how, despite the thing still being there, you actually can't do a critical hit on him. That's the nice thing about the Blasphemous Blade's skill, is it heals you. If you don't know that, in all seriousness, what have you been doing this whole time? I'll just toss the Claymore. I was determined to keep it because it looks cool. Looks nice in an inventory. But, whatever, it's fine. So yeah, guys, if you can, you'll want to trigger... Really, for any run, you'll want to trigger City. City is an amazing shifting Earth event. I'll take that. Constant regen's always good. And we could go over there and fight Loretta, but I said that this run would be a more conservative, reasonable run. So we're just gonna sit here and wait instead. Alright, let's see what we got. Nox Dragonkin Soldier is what we're fighting. If you have a weapon that attacks in a sweeping motion, if you run, like if your attack sweeps from the left, if you run at them and then run to the side, you can do what I just did. Which is basically like you end up hitting around their shield. Alright. Let's see what we got. Let's see what this dude can actually do to us. Excuse me. Sorry, chat. I just beat one of your kind already. Hit now. Follow jump attack. Phase 2 already. What happened? Oh no. This reminds me of the good old days where people who power stance blasphemous blades were seen as unskilled pieces of trash. Actually, those were not good old days. Those were really crappy old days. I mean, literally, you were just considered as not a real gamer for using blasphemous blade. Which was stupid, by the way. Like, I mean, who actually came up with that? Like, if you use blasphemous blade, you're not really beating the game. Like, who came up with that? It's just a good weapon. Like, don't get me wrong, it is an insanely good weapon. But you still have to know how to use it. Like, for instance, I know my dad, when he first started playing Elden Ring, he didn't like Blasphemous Blade because of how slow it was compared to the stuff he liked, like katanas or spears and stuff. Or straight swords, stuff like that. He preferred faster weaponry. So when he switched over to Blasphemous Blade to see if he liked it, he didn't, because it was slow, and compared to what he was used to, it was really hard to use. So I feel like the whole take of, like, if you use a certain weapon, you didn't beat the game is just stupid. Although, I'm not gonna lie, at one point I was one of those people who was like, if you use this at X, and Y, then you didn't beat the game. But I've matured like fine cheese. Aged like fine cheddar. Gotten better at these games. Gotten more receptive to the fact that there really is no wrong way to play the game unless you literally mod it. Which, depending on what you mod for, it could be wrong. If you're modding just to, like, have some fun with, like, some weird, cool equipment and stuff, that's good, as long as you don't do so at others' expenses. And if you're cheating to make yourself invincible, or to make enemies weaker, etc., that is wrong. Oh my gosh. That was awesome. Like, you're not playing the game right if you're modding it to make it easier. Because then you're not playing the game the way it was intended to be played. Actually, so what you'll want to do is you'll want to focus on Fardas here. if you're a melee character. If you're Iron Eye, you'll want to be shooting Noster the whole time, pretty much. If you're like Iron Eye or someone, Noster should be your target. And yes, I could attack, because at this point Animus is now empowering Fardus. But I'd rather take Noster out of the fight, so I'm not getting shot while I'm fighting empowered Fardus. If that makes sense to y'all, chat. So I've hypothesized that it was actually possible to kill Fardus before Animus actually left it. But I haven't actually been able to replicate the proper conditions to do so, as it's quite chunky, plainly. But if I keep doing the skill, if I hit L2 enough, theoretically, Fardus will die before... Nope, don't do that. Not cool, man. Come on. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna do it. I did it. Holy crap, I did it. Fardus died while Animus was still inside of it. So now it's going over to possess Noster. I didn't know you could actually do that. That's insane. Obviously, I'm not gonna be like, okay, well, yeah, you're always gonna get Blasphemous Blade or something crazy like that. But I mean, as long as you get like 2 good fire weapons as Wilder. Here, I'll give you a little bit of a preview of how to fight this guy, I guess. Fardus is pretty simple, although I was reckless at times. And Animus is literally dead. I mean, he's not gonna make it much further. If I hit him once, he's gone. I mean, you saw the phase-leaving move for Fardus. I just kind of stayed under his tail. That's typically a good way to do it. It's harder to do for that attack, and typically you don't want to get hit by the roar, but it's not that big a deal. So here, I'm going to show you this thing's phase-leaving attack, which it's doing right now. So this, you're going to be tempted to surge sprint out of the way of this, but you'll actually want to normal sprint. Leaves you with more stamina and is sufficient for dodging the attack most of the time. You want to just kind of like run to the side, but depending on where the bullets are coming from, you might want to adjust your angle a bit. Are you doing your super move, or are you going to fly off into... Nope, you're doing a super move, but I'm not going to let you do that. And for his super move, he just creates a bunch of pillars of light that you need to avoid. Just basically never stop surge sprinting longer than you have to. That's pretty simple. Anyway, we're going to move on to the next Everdark now. Fissure in the Fog. This one's weakness is also fire. Again, it's not necessary. Neither of the bosses with fire weaknesses require you to use fire. It doesn't even debuff Noster. It's the least useful for him. We have Rawwoods this time, and looks like a Wandering Mausoleum as well. So I can, if I find a really good weapon, I can run up to this mausoleum right here and duplicate it. That's a really rare event. That's probably only the 4th time I've seen it. Over the course of about 650-ish hours. But yeah. We got Rotwoods this time, chat. I didn't even know that, like, it was going to randomly trigger Rotwoods. In fact, I'm really not sure how we got different shifting Earths back to back like that. Like, wait a minute. Are they trying to get me to... Oh, they absolutely are. Alright, so chat, we're actually going to be power stancing straight swords today. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Power stance some straight swords. Now, if I find a really good weapon in Rotwoods over there, I can now go up to this mausoleum and dupe it, like I was saying, before I interrupted myself. Did I interrupt myself? I don't remember if I finished my statement or not. Take defeating enemy restores FP. It's always good. 69 to 69. It's not quite as good as my starting sword, but it's not far off. At least I don't think it is. I don't remember quite what my sword did before I threw it away. But we're gonna check this physical cathedral down here. Here's what we're gonna do. Because we're doing Rotwoods, we are going to get purple weapons. That is a guarantee. I can promise you we will get purple weapons from Rotwoods. So what we're actually going to do is we are going to kill Guardian Golem real quick. That hurt a little bit. Then we'll get the critical hit. Dude, that's really good. I like that. What'd you have on you? Literally your starting staff. That's real helpful. Blues, thanks for making it far into the run. I know it's kind of messed up to, like, fault people for just not making it far into the run, but, like, really? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Sorry to, the straight swords that I was power stancing. I found a knight's great sword that's way better. Especially considering those two straight swords were blue, or gray, and this one's already blue. So what you'll actually want to do, for Rotwood specifically, is if you get a smithing stone too, you'll want to immediately use it on whatever weapon would help you clear Rotwoods best. So don't think of the boss ahead of time until you get into Rotwoods. Think of just the field bosses in Rotwoods. Like, what would be good for Tree Sentinel, or Tree Avatar, etc., etc. You need to figure out what would be good for them, because that's what you're really going to be fighting in the run. And, like, yeah, you're going to need the proper kind of weapon for the boss. More likely than not, excuse me. Like, yeah, more likely than not, you're going to need the proper weapon for the boss, but at the same time, the Rotwoods are like a gold mine for weapons. Like, you will get some of the best weapons you will ever get in a run in Rotwoods. You have my guarantee on that. Maybe not quite as good as, like, Great Hollow. Great Hollow has the best, like, weapon pool in my experience. But that does make sense. So here's what we're going to do. If we get a really good fire weapon out of the Rotwoods, we're going to pop up to that mausoleum and duplicate it. I know I've said that a bunch of times, but I mean it. What is that? Oh, that's Erdtree Avatar. Okay, hold up. I'm going to upgrade my weapon first. But we can take Erdtree Avatar super early. It's not a great idea to do unless you know how to fight an Erdtree Avatar. Which, if you played Elden Ring, you should know how to fight Erdtree Avatar plenty well by now. Like, it would be low-key kind of unacceptable if you didn't. Like, I mean, there's no way, if you have played and beaten Elden Ring, that you do not know how to fight an Erdtree Avatar. And there's no way, if you've played Dark Souls 1 and Elden Ring, that you do not know how to fight an Erdtree Avatar. That was a waste. Waste! Why did I do that? Just reflexes, dude. Just reflexes. Why did I do that? I did not need to do that. That was bad. That's bad. No. I did not need to use my ult against that guy. He was a free enemy. Here, we're actually going to jump up to this camp real quick to get my level a little bit higher, upgrade my weapon, and recharge my ult. The boss is only Alien and Misbegotten, so it's really not that bad. And the tell for a physical camp is that tower. If the physical camp has a tower, the boss is Alien and Misbegotten. Every single time. It is consistent. You can quote me on that. It will always be Alien Misbegotten camp if there's a tower. See what you've got. For the attack power when two-handing, I like. Now we're going to hop out front. My ult didn't get quite charged, but it's a lot better now than it was before. And now I've got a Banished Knight's Greatsword +1, which is going to be a more than good enough weapon for an Erdtree avatar. So here, let's... Let's kill this Erdtree avatar real quick. And I would like, honestly, to head down to Central Castle and see what we can do there. And some of you who did not play Dark Souls 1 might be wondering what I mean when I say if you played Dark Souls 1 and Elden Ring, you should know how to fight an Erdtree avatar. But if you played Dark Souls 1, you know exactly what I mean. Erdtree Avatar's moveset is the exact same as a boss called Asylum Demon. The two bosses, like, the Erdtree Avatar is just a faster Asylum Demon with gold beams on some of his attacks. He's basically just an Asylum Demon if it were actually dangerous. Now, I will take an Eleanor's Pole Blade, because that is a fire weapon. I'm not saying I'm going to do the run with it yet, because nothing's a guarantee at this point. But if I don't find a better fire weapon, I do have Eleanor's Pole Blade. But now we're going to head up to the top of Central Castle, since it's right here, and since we're on day 1. And it's going to be a really nice thing to clear, just to boost our level, so we can wipe out Rotwoods more effectively. Okay, it's not a pot troll fort, so I can take the quick route up, which, in case you don't know, involves jumping up here, slowing down just a little bit, because if you don't, the camera will jerk around and turn you off that corner like that. Oh gosh. Cool. My stamina went bye-bye. We'll actually skip on Loretta. Loretta's not a very easy boss to defeat, especially not in a timely fashion. She is quite a time sink. Even with the proper weapons, I don't have very good weapons for her. Oh, you've actually got to be kidding me. Speaking of not very good in a time sink, back out and heal real quick. That's how we do it here. At least he can be baited into doing this over and over again. There we go, chat. Bell-bearing hunter down. It's going to be really nice. We're going to take this, because it's just a really good, nice thing to have. Now we're going to try and hop up and get the talisman pool, also because this is the best way out of the fort. If you ask me. But if you didn't ask, I just answered. I do seriously think it is the best way out of the fort. Dude, open, open, open. I don't have much time here. So now we're going to try and get over to the tree real quick. Typically, guys, if the central fort has Loretta and Bell-bearing Hunter, you're just probably not going to do it. Unless you can bait the Bell-bearing Hunter into doing that move I made him do over and over again. Unless you know how to do that, I would not even consider it. It's it's not a good idea. Fun fact, Miranda Blossom can bleed. Basically, the trick with fighting Miranda Blossom is to just not care if you get poisoned, because literally, poison makes such a negligible difference in your ability to do stuff. It's completely ignorable. And besides, once you kill it, poison gets cured anyway, doesn't it? Let's see. You see my point, chat? Okay, let's go up, let's run up this slope real quick. Say it'd be really funny if there were a beetle up here. It's okay. But I'll live without that. Okay, done hitting me. Stop sidestepping, dude. It's just annoying. And, like, yes, the Banished Knight's Greatsword has a stronger hit attack power, but the reason I'm using this stuff against these guys is because they can bleed. And they're all weak to fire damage. I did not dodge. I should not have healed there. You should not be blowing up again. That's a little bit insane. And there we go. Alterated Tree Spirit goes down without so much as a hiccup. Blood Loss in Vicinity increases attack power is going to be useful because of Eleanor's Pole Blade. But as you can see, it looks like it's only doing 58 damage, 58 fire damage, but really that's just because when you're two-handing it, its attack power goes down. It actually gets cut exactly in half. Because it'll be 107... Huh? It must be like 8.5 or something then. So it rounds up to 117. So I'm guessing it rounds down to 58. I forgot, it was 57 before I leveled up, and then it turned to 58. So we're gonna hop down here, grab this church real fast, since I don't want to make a bad, I don't want to, you know, give a bad example. Or this, I don't want to set like a bad example by not getting all the churches and by just saying, I'll just be fine with 5. It's not really a good idea. Shouldn't do that. That's a terrible, terrible play. Just, unless it's a boss you're used to. Like, Full Gore, I'm really used to, so typically I don't grab all the churches. I'll grab a couple. But if I'm in Deep of Night, grab every single church. Every single time. Unless it's a 4-church seed, then you need to get 3 of them, and then set your focus elsewhere. Yep, there's a mausoleum. Can't really tell if it's over there or not. It's not here. But here, let's check this location in the back here. Alright, because there are only 3... They make it seem like there are a lot more locations, but really there are 3 places the Rotwoods Bliss can be. It can be here, here, or over here somewhere. And it cannot be anywhere else. So if you know those 3 locations, you can run straight there, just check them. And most of the time, if you take that tree that I took in here, that you fly on that tree to get in here, you will be able to see exactly which location it is. Alright, let's just impale this magma worm kindly, thank him for his duty. Okay, the cooldown time on that attack or whatever. Now my attack power is boosted, so I can stop using a fire weapon against an enemy that's super resistant to fire. Alright, so let's poke him, and that'll be it. Woo. I like it. I like that. I very much like that. Because that means I can take out bosses that are weak to lightning now. But this is still not a good enough weapon to do at the mausoleum. Let's not sugarcoat it. I can't stand the pests. They really annoy me. Fun fact, y'all. Erdtree Avatar is insanely weak to fire, and frost. Both of them, actually. Really, dude? Get off your high rock. Alright, Rivers of Blood is that's much better. That is awesome. Love that. Here, hold up. Alright, let's keep going. Walking Simulator. I don't know why I sounded disappointed. I always love Walking Simulator. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Because Walking Simulator is super weak to fire damage. Oh, if I used the candle stand against him, that would have gone way faster. Dang it, missed opportunity. So we'll take this because it improves charge attacks. I like that. Deathbite Bird, from my recollection, is not resistant to fire. If he is, I certainly couldn't tell from that. Goodbye. I mean, not even a Sacred Order weapon, but you would think it was. Because of how effectively it was. Because of how effectively it took care of him. So we're going to dupe this, suffice to say. I don't really intend to make use of improved attack power at low HP. I don't really intend to be at low HP all that often. And I know I could use the skill on the Jellyfish Shield to buff up, but really, do I care about that is the question I need to ask. Because if I don't, I'm tossing it. And yes, Gargoyle is resistant, 40% resistant to all status element, or not status elements, elemental damage. But, like, this Cranial Vessel candle stand is so strong, I'm gonna hope it doesn't matter. It seems to really not matter. This time, I'm actually going to not do a critical hit. Instead, yep, it's way better than a critical hit could ever be. Brute attack power and two-handed. Yep, gotta toss the Dragon Halberd. We're gonna run over here. If I could get... Yeah, I'm probably gonna actually dupe my Knight's Greatsword for its passive. So I could have more improved skill attack power. How did me setting the candle stand down actually do damage to him? Like, I'm not complaining about the fact that I did damage. I'm complaining about the fact that it knocked him out of that state. That stun state. So that does really inconvenience me. There we go, baby. And we're going to toss continuous HP recovery, I figure, is the first to go. Let's just go straight there, then. Oh, it's right over there. Dang it. The wrong way. Alright, so we're going to run up here, dupe the Knight's Greatsword for its improved skill attack power. Just make the Surge of Faith skill way better. But I literally think I have done everything I can do. I do not think that there is anything left on this map that I can complete. So, chat, we're just gonna wait right here. I mean, yeah, we kind of swept the whole of Rotwoods. Sweeping Rotwoods is not necessary for Caligo. In fact, typically the best shifting earth for Everdark Caligo is going to be mountaintops due to the frost resistance. It also reduces the damage you take from the frostbite, which is a guaranteed buildup in Caligo's Phase 2. Sometimes it is a guaranteed buildup, sometimes. Theoretically, if you can one-shot Everdark Caligo, it will never get that move off. But I've never seen anybody one-shot Everdark Caligo, that's why I'm not including that as a strategy yet. This is a fantastic weapon for this boss. The fire on charge attacks, it's just all perfect. BTS. Not nuts about. Could be worse, I guess. Go get a hard boss. That's a joke. DTS is pretty difficult. Typically, I like to try and take out the cavalrymen first. A lot of times it's not possible. You'll just have to focus on DTS originally, or initially. Then take out the cavalrymen last. That's the smarter thing to do, anyway. I just really don't like having the cavalrymen to deal with. I like the boss being the last thing I fight, myself. hurt a little bit. Gonna do a jump attack, dodge that. The trick is to stay on his shield side more often than not, because that'll stop him from doing his devastating club swings. I'll take Infinity Attack now. It's a great idea. The money is not necessary, but if you just need a couple more runes, don't forget to shoot the horses. Can't believe those words came out of my mouth. Okay. Now, buy a Wind and Grace from this last merchant, always, just in case. If it has these two, these are really good for Caligo. They're really good for any boss, really. The regen physic and the non-physical or the all-physical damage negation physic. No, the all damage negation physic. Because these two are, they're just really good physics, you should use them. That's what I'm trying to say here. Now, for this boss, what you want to do is literally run straight towards it. And just keep running that direction. And if you keep running this direction, just turn to the right a little bit, you'll see Caligo land really close by. Of course, it's probably better to be locked on so you can actually see where Caligo is going, but I don't know. Please let me. Okay, now we're in trouble. Okay, we just had good placement with the bombs, I guess. Oh, I should have bought some Starlight Shards. I'm an idiot. I'll get a critical hit before sending it into phase 2, which is really nice. Because it would have gone into phase 2 right there, I can promise you. Wait till it moves its head, then pop your ult. You do it just like that. You can dodge its phase transition completely. Its phase transition can also be dodged by dodging. But that's much harder to do. And now your goal is to break its armor off. Which, in case you don't know, really easy to do with something like Cranial Vessel Candle Stand. Also, while I'm frostbitten, my Harmonia Relic is activated, so that's really nice. If you break all the armor on its body... Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that attack has a follow-up effect on it. So be careful about that. Not do what I just did, which is not be careful about it. All of its tail attacks have a now frosty follow-up effect. You can kind of see it if I forget. Breaking all its armor is really helpful because it opens it up for... I think it opens it up for a critical hit. I don't know if that was just pure coincidence or what. Oh, we're just... Okay, cool. Apparently I'm not close enough. Close enough there. We're just gonna finish the fight, honestly. Cranial Vessel Candle Stand is the best weapon to get for Everdark Caligo, by far. Wrath the Dragon's close. It's a close second, but the skill on this thing is insane. And that's the kind of stuff you need if you are trying to beat this for the first time. I mean, Everdark Caligo is by far one of the easiest Everdarks. But it can be pretty difficult if you're not used to fighting it. So, obviously, just make sure you know what you're doing going in, and try to get a fire weapon, especially for Everdark. And now, here is the big one. Salvation Standard Bearers Balancers. This is a very difficult boss. But what I'm actually going to do, and what you might want to do as well, is if you can handle running some on the Great Hollow, you might want to trigger that manually. Because the loot you get in the Great Hollow is quite possibly some of the best loot you can get in the game, period. Sorry, excuse me, chat. So essentially what we're going to do is we are going to run Great Hollow. So I'm both going to be showing you how to, you know, deal with Great Hollow and deal with Everdark Balancers. Sound good? Sounds good. Skill attack power from the starting camp is insane, by the way. And you're not always going to get beetles, but I've never seen just one beetle. So, Roaring Breath attacks is okay. This is actually a pretty difficult starting camp if you're not used to the ways of this game. Or if you're not used to fighting claymen, especially. Like, if you didn't play Elden Ring and you get pitted against these dudes who magically take, like, 0 knockback from anything, who do a ton of damage and attack really strangely, then yeah, this is a pretty bad starting camp. But now we are safe to check these loot pools. Improved Death Blight resistance, not really helpful. It's more skill attack power. Guess we're going to be doing an L2 build. Attacks release a Mist of Frost. It's always good to get, always good to see. And you'll want to look up there, past where that campfire and that smithing table is, because up there, there's a chance to be a crystal which will open the Great Crystal, the Great Hollow. You'll want to always check that spot. Then, after doing that, you'll want to head off into this little area over here. Because this direction are crayfish. Which typically, if you've played Elden Ring, you know it's typically a terrible idea to fight crayfish. But you can get this one to break this statue. Which is nice. Ow. I was like, please don't spit at me. He did spit at me. Tell me that is a Nox Swordstress, of course. Because why wouldn't you get involved randomly while I'm fighting something else and you shouldn't even be able to aggro to me? What are you doing, dude? Correct me if I'm wrong, but Nox Swordstress is the most obnoxious enemy in this game. So now we're going to blow you up and perform a critical hit. Seriously, you should look at that. She's coming back to attack me while I'm doing the critical hit. So I'm going to hop up and rest, because otherwise I'm going to die in a single hit. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, Nox Swordstress is the most obnoxious enemy in this game. I hate getting her as an Everjail boss, I hate getting her as an enemy. Just any instance in which I have to deal with a Nox Swordstress is misery. Here, I'm fighting the crayfish, dude. See, it was going fine until Nox Swordstress decides she's going to get some. See, why does he have like a close-range spit attack? That happens to actually look really similar to another move he has. What the... Dude, what are you doing? That's what I was waiting on. Because that's when you can do some major damage to these things. HP restoration, landing attacks, and vacuum slice. That's a really good weapon. I like that. And you'll always want to just check this chest right here, because it can have a legendary. I've literally pulled... Oh my gosh, dude. Stop third-partying. Why do so many enemies just have the inherent instinct to try and attack while you're attacking something else? Dude, what the... Why did you... Okay, whatever. I don't care, man. I don't even know what it was doing. It was being stupid. That's what it was doing. I know what it... So I do know what it was doing. It was being stupid and annoying. So I literally can't get hit. I'm one tap at this point. So what I need to do is run. Typically I would kill this crayfish over here because he also has a good chance of dropping a legendary. Both of the crayfish do. But I don't have time to. So instead I'm going to run over here and try and get this church that's in this underground section off to the left. See, this one over here. Let's heal, just so I don't get one-shot by something. Oh, also there's a crystal down here. There's typically, if there is a church down here, 9 times out of 10, I have seen a crystal appear above it. Like that. Which obviously is very important, as the Great Hollow is borderline uncompletable if you don't open the central crystal. So we spent a little bit of time doing some things other than, you know, making our way to locations, points of interest, getting churches, etc., so on and so forth. But that's okay, because sometimes you just need to do that to get stuff done. Other stuff, you know, just for later in fun. So here, we're going to now switch back. Then our next goal is going to be this direction. And ordinarily, I would 100% fight Golden Hippo, but just not a good idea. Given the whole deal with the night moving and encroaching rapidly. Okay, now I can ditch this in favor of the Troll Sword. But you'll want to be looking in the hotspots for crystals. You'll want to remember where crystals can spawn. There's one by this church, there's one by that church down there. Royal Revenant, I'm absolutely not fighting. There's sometimes one up by this church. See, there's not one this time, but sometimes there is. Much rarer for one to be there than down by this down church. But there is a really nice place. There's a really important place to check. It's like right in this central region right here, because there's a spot for a crystal up there on that cliff that I'm looking at. See, like between those two trees? Over there, we see where those little crystals are. Sometimes there's a big crystal up there. There's not this run. Sometimes there's a crystal right there. See? And in solo, you only need to break 3. In teams, you need to break 4. So obviously, a little bit different. Oh, and by the way, guys, you will 100% want to try and like diversify your inventory, like have a bunch of different affinity attacks because of the 2 towers of the map of the Great Hollow. Dude, how did I end up on this side? Why did it break my lock? That's the real question. Why did it break my lock? But because of the 2 towers of the Great Hollow, you'll want to try and, like, have as many affinities as possible so you can more effectively complete these. So, like, I'm trying to get... Currently, I have magic, and that's literally it. That's all I have. Frostbite, but I'll probably take Holy instead. Now we're going to hop over to this, and we're going to grab the power of the crystal, which actually allows us to do the towers. Because if you don't grab this power of the crystal, what will end up happening is you'll end up having to do these towers at half HP. Which, for obvious reasons, that is a bad idea. There's a death bird down here. I always check down here because they typically have some interesting bosses sitting down here waiting for me. And if you fight plenty of death right birds, this death bird should be a joke because it doesn't have any of the annoying ghost flame attacks. It's super easy. You just need to become decently well equipped. Sacred Warped Axe. Take stamina recovery since I already have a holy weapon. So, like, the goal is by the time we're doing the towers to have at least the basic affinities covered, like holy, magic, fire, lightning. The most common ones I've seen are, like, holy and something like poison or rot. Like, a lot of times it's one of those effects, which is pretty annoying, actually. But it's fine, it's no problem. If I couldn't operate off of that kind of luck, I really shouldn't be playing this game. However, the best effect for completing the towers is the effect called steadily eroding any and all life, because that means that everyone is constantly losing health, including you, so if you're not careful, you'll fall victim to the thing that makes these towers so easy. Ah, come on, man. Wow, like, stuff that would be good for a Guardian. It's weird. I don't really understand why this game does that all the time. It's like, once I'm not using a shield, don't have a shield in my inventory, or I'm not playing Guardian, suddenly all these guarding and guard counter passes pop up. Like, where were these when I was playing Guardian? Like, I don't understand. Like, why do you think this is helpful to me now that I'm not using a shield? I can promise you, if I played Guardian without the shield, I would get all sorts of crazy, weird... Oh, crap. No. That's a bad idea. I'd say I can kill the field boss that's somewhere over here, but not Tree Sentinel. I can't kill him in time. It's not that I can't kill him, it's just that I can't kill him in time. And the night boss is going to be a Divine Beast Warrior and a Curse Blade, which I'm not thrilled about. But you'll want to take out the shadow guys who buff these enemies before you actually start trying to chip away at the enemies themselves. And then before fighting anyone else, you'll want to take out the spitting ones. They have more cloth on their heads than the other ones, or fly mold, I guess it looks like, actually. They have more fabric hanging off their heads than the other ones. That's how you can tell them apart. Also, they'll be spitting at you. Profound, I know. That's just me, Mr. Profound. hate First Blade so much. Really? Now you're throwing crap at me, man. But you want to take out whichever one ends up going for you first. If it's the First Blade, that's probably better, actually. This dude's a lot chunkier. And if you ask me, a little bit more difficult to deal with. The First Blade, while his moves are much more difficult than this guy, his moves don't do a whole lot of damage. This guy can pack a punch. I guess it didn't hit full impact, because there's no way that that's how little that does. About to say, yeah, it didn't hit for full impact before. It didn't do much more, but it did more. So let's do Violent Delusion Star End while walking. It's actually a much better effect than I gave it credit for. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to run out into the night. Also, before you run out into the night, always make sure that Side of Grace spawns. Because if it doesn't, that means you are fighting a second boss, and you have just run out into the night and wasted a bunch of resources because you ran out into the night. Had to heal. So, you want to make sure that there's not going to be a second boss before you run out into the night. If there is going to be a second boss, then you just basically made it so you can't beat it. I mean, okay, you can probably beat it if you're good enough at fighting it, but it's going to be much harder because you're going to be down resources. So now we're going to want to jump over to this tower. Why are we jumping over to this tower first, you may ask? Well, it's pretty simple, my friend. See this tower, this is the only one that crystal in the middle lets you jump straight to. You can try and jump over to this one, but you can't actually make it all the way over there. However, this one has a teleporter that leads over to the other side. Frostbite. Of course. I decide I'm not taking the Frostbite, I'll be fine. I should have taken the Frostbite. I knew I should have taken the Frostbite. Fortunately, this is not Deep of Night. This tower is really not that big of an issue. I probably won't even be able to tell that I don't have Frostbite. We'll see, actually. Oh, but the most useful effect of the Great Hollow is now that I have obtained the power of the crystal in the middle, I can do this. Drink the rest of my flasks, and then my ult basically gets charged. If it has any, like... Oh, Spider survived. I'll take the family heads, because they do have a Frostbite skill, which will do a lot of damage. If that works, that'd be nice. But essentially, chat, like, the power of the crystal lets you refill your ult gauge a significant portion if you drink all your flasks. Of course, the next boss they pit me against is a boss that can't be frostbitten. See, this, I think, was just a stupid play on their part. Like, this was a stupid design choice. Why did they have Gargoyle be in a tower? You know, Gargoyle, who's 40% resistant to all types of damage. Blackblade Kindred is 80% resistant to Holy, but 40% resistant to the rest. Gargoyle's just 40% resistant to all types of damage, all elemental types of damage. Which I guess, like, cool. If it's like the weakness is fire, that'll just be better. You want to use fire. But why would you ever, like, make him a possible boss to appear in one that has a status effect? He's immune to all status effects. Like, what makes you think that that's going to be helpful? So now we're going to just keep chopping away. Vacuum Slice is a really good skill for the Harmonia Relic. Oh, speaking of really good. Oh, that's really good. think I found my weapon for the rest of the tower. I'm really hoping it's going to boot me over to the other side so I can do both towers, because that's really hard to do. But it does benefit you a lot, because you get a free extra 4,000 merc at the end of the round if you complete both towers. Oh, thank goodness I picked up this weapon. How did it hurt that? That skill does a ton of damage. Love it. You gotta admit, it's a good skill. I'm not gonna get to the head. I could get to the head in time, but I'm gonna get more money for just doing this, or more bang for my buck for doing this. Yes, sir. Now we're talking. Oh. Yes, I have a ton of different types now. I've got lightning, holy, blood, fire, magic, frost. I have everything I could possibly need, except for poison and rot. I literally think I have everything. Like, I have all 4 affinities. So this other tower is going to go down. And it's all on pretty good weapons. But yeah, let's get this perk. Then we're going to jump back down. Go straight over to the teleporter. And leave. And chat, okay, I'm not gonna lie, it takes a whole lot of luck to be able to actually do both towers because of what has to, like, fall into place for this to be doable. Like, you need the circle to, like, you need to go to one tower, it needs to be a decent effect or an ignorable effect, and you need to complete that tower, and it needs to be the tower that is not going to be within the bounds of night when the night starts moving. That's all that stuff has to fall perfectly into place, otherwise you can't do it. Let's see what we got. Blood loss. Oh my gosh. Goodbye. That was just sad, man. I killed him in seconds! I mean, that's ridiculous. I killed him in seconds. Chat, seconds. Logren's Sacred Spear was a crazy good find for this tower. I was going to be kind of mad if it were, like, something along the lines of, like, oh, well, you need a poison or rot. I was going to be kind of mad if it was one of those two, because that was literally the only 2 I don't have. Oh, okay, this is actually not that good. I'll admit, that wasn't the smartest play. I'd be better off using my holy weapon. Let's switch. Ooh, that was not smart. Should not have stayed in that fire, but whatever. No problem. It worked out okay. Let's say that's going to hurt a lot. Ow. There we go. Deathrite Bird goes down. And the legendary I get is, of course, Grafted Dragon. I could have a full inventory of legendaries if I really, really wanted to. Let's fill my ult for the next floor. Not that it's really necessary. I could legitimately, if I had taken the other ones, I could kill some other boss and get a legendary and literally have a full inventory of legendaries. If I took every single legendary weapon I got, I could have a full inventory of legendaries. Of course. What's the deal with these blood loss towers and putting me against enemies I can't bleed? Like, forgive me for objecting everything, but there's no way you got... Oh my gosh. Can't even do a jump attack on the guy. And now, because he blocked so much, his stance is reset. So now I have to try and break his stance again. There we go. Really annoyed at the fact that, like, they pit me against another enemy that doesn't bleed. Thanks. Thank you for your purchase. Please bleed and die. I jumped and you just didn't. Or you started to, but you didn't do it when I pressed. Get out of here. Look at this stacked, this absolutely loaded loot pool. Dude, what am I even fighting? I don't remember. It's very tempting. Yeah, I'll take a Winding Grace. I remember what I was fighting at the very end. It's Everdark Harmonia. Can't really chance it. Have to play more safe, not play more greedy. So let's hop over and kill this random field boss real quick. And, like, it's possible to get this church over here. In fact, I'm going to go do that first, then come back and kill Demi-Human Queen, because it's Demi-Human Queen. Literally one of the easiest field bosses, if not the easiest. I mean, I don't know, Miranda Blossom is by far the easiest field boss. Comparatively, Ancestor Spirit is by far the easiest thing, because it's the easiest of the great enemies, I'd say. It's easier than a lot of normal enemy field bosses. Like, I would take on an Ancestor Spirit before I take on a Red Wolf. Not because the Red Wolf is necessarily that much harder, it's just more annoying, really. But, like, I find Ancient Heroes of More or Leon and Misbegotten to be more difficult than Ancestor Spirit, and they're not really difficult. They're just more so than Ancestor Spirit. Don't make me regret not picking that up, game. Oh, what you got for me? Your skill at beat cost, I like that. I'll just take stamina, read that, my bad. Let's see, we got a pretty loaded inventory, chat. Nothing too shabby. However, it's going to be Moog, Lord of Blood, as the boss. See, I thought I saw a club behind me. Dragon King's Cragblade is best for taking out basic enemies like this because of its insane knockback. Hey! It actually happened! Oh, I bet it's because it has to be attacks with the weapon, isn't it? It's not something you can offhand, I bet. Okay, let's start by popping my ult on him. Then we're going to follow with a prompt. Critical hit. Then we're going to follow with another prompt critical hit. And obviously, Dragon King's Cragblade kind of trivializes this fight, as it does most fights. But it's a quite difficult fight if you don't have a weapon like that. But if you do the towers, you should get one anyway. You should get something really good anyway. I'd say it looks like we're getting a second boss, but it seems not. Which I'm not exactly upset about. It's quite alright. I really don't need another boss. I have 544,000 runes left over. So now we have 3 Winding Graces. We have a stacked inventory, chat. I don't even need to go through it. You know what I have. I feel like the Dragon King's Cragblade is probably going to be best for this fight. I'll be curious to see. Actually, I want to check right now. How many runes does it take to get to max level in Nightreign? Oh yeah, I busted 1,000,000 runes. I got way more than 1,000,000 runes. So yeah, I think the Cragblade's okay. I've seen people ditch this weapon. Like, I've seen people drop it. Like, there's no way that this is bad with any character. It does 207. It's primarily like a Dex and Faith weapon. And it does 207 on Wilder. Which I get is not saying a whole lot, because he does have good Dex scaling. But, whatever. Still kind of crazy. And in this phase, what you're going to want to do, be very careful. Wait for them to come to you. Hey, it doesn't one-shot him here. That's unfortunate. We're going to heal that. You want to wait and see which one screams, so you know which one's going to actually attack you. So, 1 light attack, 1 jumping strong, and 1 light attack. Pretty easy. Killed one right before they disappeared. Now they're going into the phase I call Big Phase. Typically, I wouldn't do that, but that's really a bad idea to do. As you can see, it is quite a bad idea to do. But I was always curious to see what would happen if I tried to, like, knock them out of this phase early or something. They get knocked out of the phase. Shocker. Do not try and knock them out of the phase like that. That's a bad idea. I'm doing what I got mad at myself for doing last time, which is doing stupid things and making bad plays. One down. Oh yeah. That thrust is kind of strong, so... Excuse me? Excuse me? I'm a little bit confused as to what exactly happened there. Next, you. What you'll want to try and do is get away from the other ones. That way their like weird little spear attacks and stuff aren't as likely to hit you. Like, see, they're just out of range now. And now we wait. And they're going big again. Again, not a good idea to rapidly attack it like I'm trying to do. You'll want to wait until it slows down, because it does slow down later in the phase. That's why I'm saying it's a bad idea to attack it in this phase, the way I am. It's not a bad idea to attack it, period. It's a bad idea to go in for hits, like, early in the phase. You need to wait until it charges twice and then comes back up and gets ready to do its, ultimate move, which will probably one-shot you if you don't kill it. Now we wait. Do one jump attack, one quick. You want to pay careful attention to which one is the engaged one. Congratulations. And then you'll want to take that one out. And that's the entire fight. The learn phase, you just gotta learn it. There's no getting around it. You just have to learn how to deal with it. That might sound a bit harsh or, like, unhelpful, but that's just it. You have to learn what to do and when to do it. Alright, but that's gonna be where we leave the stream for today. I'm glad we actually got to do this one all the way through. That's big, and look at this. 5 sigils, 2,000 merc, 2,000 merc, and 2,943 merc. That's like Deep of Night level gain for a much easier experience. Which I guess is part of the reason they don't do Great Hollow. They don't let it be available on, like, all the other expeditions, because these dudes are easy. At least Balancers and Dreadlord are a decently difficult, like, thing to run compared to the originals. But anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it for today, chat. It was a pleasure having you. We had some fun. We had some laughs, kind of. But now I'm going to just kind of continue on my day, do whatever. And I will catch you all in the next stream I upload. Bye-bye!